Hi again, everybody. This video is sponsored by contribution from Amy, and here's her story. Ollie, thanks for your reply about the sick narc. I hear other stories that you read and realize I cannot do your job because I'm too sensitive. Not everyone can do what you're doing for this community, and I appreciate your work. The one story about the 8-year-old girl getting whipped reminded me of watching my brother once getting beat with a belt. When I was about 6 years old, and just walking by my brother's bedroom, the door was open with him on his bed, laying on his stomach with his pants down, and Dad, overt narc, whipping his bare butt with a belt while our mom, covert narc, was just standing there watching. With a soft, gentle voice said to Dad, he just got his shot. One of his asthma shots in the butt she's referring to. He still had his Band-Aid on it. So he probably went to the doctors that morning. What's going on, and what did he do to deserve that, is what I wondered at the time. We were in a 1,300 square foot ranch home, so if anything was happening, we could hear it, but I heard nothing. Our parents liked to yell. Dad liked to yell all the time as if he was always mad. So he scared me as a little girl. Mom yelled when she was mad. About the asthma I got when I was 10. My brother Andy, who's 2 years older, got it at 7. He went through a lot of hospital stays before my parents found a pediatric physician who drugged us up enough to avoid hospital stays. Asthma was much different then than it is now. In the 1980s, if the albuterol inhaler did not work and the albuterol saline breathing treatment did not work, we had to wait to suffer enough in order to get the adrenaline shot with the cortisone shot. There was no in-between treatment except oxygen on the way to the hospital. Fortunately, I never needed oxygen, but once in an emergency, my brother did. On a normal day, both of us were on breathing treatments 3 times a day on a 1,200 milligram slow bid, which was a lot, even for an adult, so I heard. I woke up near death a few times at the age of 10. Dad would make me the breathing treatments in emergency situations to survive. In those near-death attacks, I would wake up not able to move my lungs. It felt worse than suffocating. Many times I woke up at night needing a treatment. The breathing treatment machine, an air compressor, sat on a side table next to the buck stove. The buck stove was an indoor fireplace that Dad used from October till as long as he could to keep the house warm. He loved burning wood. It creates a lot of dust, soot, and irritants in the air. Jesus Christ, he's got a wood-burning fireplace with 2 young children with asthma? What a fucking asshole. What is burning wood? Well, at the first day at the fire academy, you learn what fire is. You burn in a fireplace, you create fire. And what is fire? The rapid oxidation of a substance creating heat, light, and smoke. That's real good. That's a real good environment to have a wood-burning fireplace. Gee, I wonder what the problem was. Once I woke up with an asthma attack and was in the middle of a treatment they took 15 minutes to do. Dad was there watching me. The stove was on and I started pointing to it saying, that is it. This is it. This is it. Between breaths. This is the problem. He just looked at me and ignored that I was saying anything to him. I never brought it up again, figuring it would make him mad or he just would not listen again. No wonder summer was when we were always the healthiest. I grew up in the Midwest. I'll continue this story later. Another video you made talked about a dad drowning newborn puppies by gushing fluid into their mouths that went out their nostrils. This terrible story reminded me of how my first dog died. Dad made us have outdoor dogs only, and they had to be Bengals they had to be Beagles because they are family dogs. They had to be male so they would not get pregnant. We only had one at a time, which was fine with me because I hated seeing them lonely and suffering in the cold weather, which was half the year. It ended up being something Dad could yell and kick at for trying to get into the house on a cold day, or for food when it was watching us eat. Our dinner table was right next to the patio door, a great place for him to sit, eat, kick, and yell. It was 1982, I was 5 at the time, when Dad took Andy out shooting. They came back kind of early. I knew something terrible had happened. Dad came home with a bag filled with Hostess fruit pies, cakes, and Twinkies. That's when I knew it was serious. How did I know that at the age of 5? I was the one with the sweet tooth, but Dad never liked us eating sweets. To answer my question, eating sweets is wrong, so something went wrong. He told us that Andy accidentally shot the dog, and he had to shoot him a second time in order to kill it and put it out of its misery. Okay, Ollie, here's where my question comes in on this. How did the dog get loose? Dad said he had the dog in the van, but it got out. My question is, how did it get out? This is a typical size male beagle. It was an early 80s van with two handlebar roll-down windows on the front sides, and the remaining windows only cracked open at the bottom, with one sliding door on the right side. The sliding door was heavy, hard to close, and hard to open. So we let the dog loose. Your narc videos woke me up to this idea. As I grew up, I forgot about it until I heard Andy's girlfriend talk about how he told her about it. It definitely affected him and probably gave him a serious guilt trip the rest of his life, all for a narc high. What about those Hostess treats for when a dog dies? So we are like a pet, and a pet is like an object, supporting your previous videos. That's how he was trying to make us feel better about killing the dog. Is there a normal way someone tries to make someone feel better over a tragedy? That would be by showing empathy, right? I appreciate your comments on these two topics. Thanks. There's a lot going on with your father. A lot going on with your father. And I think the reason why the drowning story in the other girl's video and your asthma are related, because what is drowning? Drowning is suffocating, is being unable to breathe. And that's what your father was doing to you at that wood-burning stove. The same way that other girl's father liked to torture animals and watch them suffocate, your father was almost enjoying watching you and your brother suffocate. He was suffocating you. He was starting fires right next to you. That's why that story is resonating. It isn't so much about the dog. Though whatever happened to that dog is terrible, and I don't know why you would give a child, a 7-year-old, a weapon, and I'm about as pro Second Amendment as you can get. Not only does that 7-year-old, it shoots a dog that somehow got like, how did this happen? What is the explanation? Did you ever ask your brother, like, what the story? I mean, I would want to know from my brother what exactly happened with the dog. How did that happen? How did it get out? The sweets were maybe guilt. I doubt it. The sweets were a way of buying you off on a tragedy. Look, and it could be that somehow there was some horrible accident happened. Who knows? Until you get the story from your brother. Who knows? But if the dog simply somehow got out of the truck and the gun misfired, he didn't know, he got scared, he should be able to tell you that because he's a 7-year-old. If something more sinister happened, like maybe your father drowned the dog because your brother pissed him off, and then they shot it to make it look like something else, who knows? Who knows? But if it's just a simple accident that he shot the dog at 7 years old, if he can't articulate that to you, he's hiding something. He's hiding something for sure. And you're the one who's more prone to ask questions, so you're the one he would have to bribe. Remember, your father has no problem beating the shit out of your brother with a belt after he gets a shot in his ass. I don't know how the dog, I don't know how the dog got loose. Sounds ridiculous. Sounds like something else happened. So unless your brother can give you a clear story, hey, look, I was 7, I left the side door open, left the window rolled down, he jumped out, I turned around. If he can't articulate that to you as an adult, he can't see that a 7-year-old, he didn't do it on purpose, or maybe something else happened. Something else, because there's no reason at all at this point as an adult to not be able to articulate that story. As bad as you would feel about shooting the dog, come on. Unless he's covering for something else bad that happened. And buying you off with sweets was your way, of your father's way, of keeping you from answering questions. Asking questions. But it's the reason why that story resonated is what you need to focus on. Because you identified with the drowning, with the suffocation, which is exactly what your father was doing to you with that wood-burning stove. He was watching you suffocate the same way the other girl's father watch those puppies drown. Dangerous, dangerous guy. And as far as your brother's concerned, you need the full story. And if he can't give it to you, you know something bad went down. You know something bad went down. And at this point, does it even matter? You made the connection with the drowning and your asthma and the suffocation. After that, does the rest of it really even matter? You know he's a horrible piece of shit who watched his own children suffocate. Understand why you're clued into why you identify with whoever's story. What is it about that? And that wood-burning stove and the suffocation is the key to your story. So thank you again for your contribution. Thank you for your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, or you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you know what to do with the PayPal link in the description box. Please send your story to the email link in the description box as well, and only to that link, and I will have the video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.